So points of interest. Yeah, that'll do nicely. Well, I mean, I imagine Busty should be really proud of it. Nope. No objections. I am securing our little private server I've got running and putting all of our important information in there.
On that bounty that's apparently out on me, like who has it out and where the person was like.
Okay. Consider. You know what? I'm gonna did her a favor. She did you one back. Give me a connect check.
All right.
I don't really know how she would answer.
With charisma?
Yeah, with charisma.
Okay.
You already know her. I just want to see.
Hey, 11.
Hey, all right. Okay. Interesting.
Basically, I
So,
just need to know who to bring a person to and where the hell they were.
right. That's fair. Is this the one? Where is it? Planet Darija is the place where the bounty originates from. It is system 0601 nearby to Text Arcana. There is a contact there named Michael Hatfield, who is well, you're not sure what the affiliation is, but that's where you're supposed to bring the pilot of what was at least once your ship, presumed to be you. For I think it was like 14K if I remember. I'll look. Got it in here. I just don't remember. Yeah, 14K.
Okay.
So yeah, you get that back from her, and then like a little link to be able to track it if you wanted to. Just sort of where, sort of like the most wanted sort of link. It's not exactly that, but various in system.
Okay. Yeah, I'll track that.
Bounties and stuff. All right. So if things change, you'll know. Cool.
Sweet.
Can do that. Okay. Meanwhile, let's so how do you guys want to structure your day here? What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna spend most of the day working on the ship, but I'm also going to spend about 2,000 credits,
Okay.
and get some supplies for a project I'm gonna be working on.
Okay. What kind of supplies are we talking here?
Let's see. How much would a unit of spare parts get me in terms of ways towards another suit of armor? This one a bit more
Okay.
durable.
Okay.
Not powered, but more durable. I'm asking
Right,
how much.
right.
It's going to be a jury rig job, not a full-on
Yeah.
custom build.
Let me find the thing for spare parts.
Not that much.
Let's see. Damn it. Stop doing this. There we go.
Let's see. Take us access to scrap or salvage. They can assemble it at no cost, but takes twice the normal time to build. I don't think I have the exact amount of scrap to put together a whole suit, so just wondering if it can reduce the cost or anything. It's basically a homebrew thing, but
Yeah. I'm just reading through it really quickly to kind of get a general idea of what should also make sense. Okay. Okay, so if we assume that a single unit based on the rules, should be able to jury rig basic uncomplicated tools or weapons from the equipment list with 10 or 15 minutes of assembly and at least a fixed 0 skill. Then to jury rig an entire set of armor, are you talking like kind of like a spring-loaded version of power armor? Is that what
No,
we're
no,
talking
I'm not
about?
going power armor yet. Not going power armor yet. What I'm planning to do is basically get an Icarus harness going,
Okay.
which is a non-powered armor, but it is a functioning vac suit and effectively it has graviton parachute. and stuff.
Right. So I would
Probably make them work on the
say
components first.
you're gonna
plating.
need. I'm gonna argue about for the various components. If you're going to, sort of the local scrapyard, I guess you
Mhm.
could say, which seems pretty close to what I figure you would do.
Yeah.
You know what? How about this? I'll tell you how much it is. I'm gonna
Mhm.
just give you a straight notice, or actually, I'm gonna give you a fix with wisdom to find the parts
Okay.
that may work, and then depending on that, we'll see how well you do.
What is it? Fixed with what?
Wisdom. This
Okay.
is you got to notice the parts and use your knowledge to actually know what it is, but you got to find them.
9.
All right, a 9. I'll say, yeah, somewhere around 500 credits worth of spare parts and some extra larger chunks, including what look like an emitter from
Mhm.
a graviton or a gravity-based rifle.
Okay. So like a mag
there-
rifle sort of.
Kinda, yeah. There's actually one in here that I'm thinking of.
I also know plasma weapons use something similar.
Yeah,
See, distortion cannons, I believe, are
that's
also.
that's what I was thinking of. Sorry, I
Yeah.
couldn't think of the fucking name. You find kind of a piece, a single emitter from a distortion cannon with with about 500 credits worth of scrap and a couple of good fix rolls.
Mhm.
You think you could put something together that sort of works off that single emitter and sort of redirects it in various directions so as not to, just spin you around as you're
You got
falling
it.
and so it'll take some time, but you guys have time while you're in spike space. So
Yeah, that's the
I'll
idea.
say
So
a distortion cannon is typically 1250. Let's say this scrapper's gonna go take you 750 for the main component of a fucking distortion gun.
yeah,
And then we'll throw on this would have to use a pretty chunky power cell. So B type.
I'll use my own.
Okay. There you go. So a grand total of about 1250. Should
for me.
give you the basics plus if you want, you could pick up extra pieces for more of the structural elements. So yeah, let's call it 1500.
Okay.
I'm just I had to think through all the different pieces that you would want there.
Cool.
But yeah, about 1500 credits. You could start working on that. It'd probably take you a few days. You're gonna have to do a couple rolls, but no worries.
Gotcha. Works for me.
All right.
And then the rest of the time will be fixing up the ship.
Okay. So that's Oswald. Who else? Who's else has things they want to do today?
If we can buy distortion cannons here, dude, I'll
There is an armsman somewhere in the slums. You might need to find him, but you're not going to find a distortion cannon like at a regular shop. Kind of got to go specialty for that. Tend to be under some significant control.
How much is a Type B power cell?
It should be in the equipment stuff. Let's see. Type B is 100 credits.
Cool. I will buy 4 of them,
Okay.
and I'll load them all up
Easy
on the
enough to
ship.
do. All right. Anybody else?
Working on ship.
Okay. Not going to make you roll for today because it would have been done sometime in the day. It's more of a matter of when, with the number of hours you guys had left.
Have I already collected enough food?
Yeah, you well, that depends. So that
About a
was the other
month's
thing.
worth.
You guys have 30 days worth, and
right.
you Tex would know that you have 30 days for everybody on board worth. So, and that's how we're gonna just make this roll, is just based on the crew size, assuming a crew of 7. You guys also would know that, and Tex, I'm gonna make some very slight adjustments to the contract. They have a one, it's 50,000 for transport out 2 jumps away, or 2 hexes away. And they said they may have something that would pay more that could be talked about once you guys were in space.
Okay.
So each jump, unless you, assuming you do not trim course, each jump is going to cost 6 days in spike space to travel 1 hex, because your spike drive is a level 1.
Right.
You can trim the course and cut that in half, but obviously that ups the difficulty.
Yeah.
The other thing you would know is you're also going to have to add 4 days. 2 days to travel to the edge of the system to jump. 2 days to travel into the system afterwards, either to refuel or whatever else. Means you have a total of 3 destinations from here that you could go for.
Oh, that's just some elite dangerous level.
Yeah, kinda.
And well, so I talked to you about this previously. Is trimming the course just something you kind of decide, like what like how much time that
Nope,
costs,
it
or is
cuts it
always
in
just
half.
like cut it in half? Or okay,
Always cuts it in half
okay, that works.
for a +2 to your difficulty check.
Right. Yeah, I've got the traveling in
Yep.
space thing up on the sheet.
Yeah, I was
Fantastic.
thinking about making like a little like cutout thing and throwing it up there for you guys, but it should be fine. So yeah, you can trim the course, cut the time in half for an increase in difficulty. Your star charts, for context, are within a month old, as you literally got them today. There you go.
So I guess Lexi would want to go back to that same dude that we went and bought the, like, I think people bought like some guns or something from when we first got here.
That was a regular sort of arms shop, sure.
Could she go there and try?
There's also
See
a
if they
black
have a.
market dude. Yeah,
He was the one that told you about the armsmen and rumors about it. They have essentially, they got pistols and they got rifles and they got shotguns, and that's really pretty much it. And basically up to kind of your TL4 ish stuff. They do not have thunder guns. They do not have shear rifles. They do not have distortion rifles. Hell, they very well don't even have like plasma projectors.
Okay.
Yeah. But you could attempt to find the armsman if you'd like.
I think we had gone there. We just kind of that day we didn't really do our shopping in game. We were just kind of
Nope.
like, oh yeah, we
You
went
guys
here and
never. I basically said you guys can do your basic shopping, but you guys will do the armsman in person because that could be
okay,
interesting.
gotcha.
And then you guys just never went. And I
Yeah,
don't know.
I could go for a laugh. Lexi will just try it out of the blue.
I can help Lexi find it if she needs.
Up to you, Lexi. You want Tex to go with you?
Well, if he's gonna be coming along, then he's gonna be doing it. Cause I ain't doing that fucking shit. I'll tell you that right now.
Well,
Doing
Ronnie
what?
probably wouldn't mind going along. He
Find
is
your
looking
gun?
for a new gun.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody who wants to come is more than welcome.
yeah, I'll take her along. I know some of the things that she got into last time she was left unattended, so sure. Hell, I
Okay.
got nothing else to do. Let's go.
Oh,
All
wait.
right.
Let me come along real quick.
Sure.
Alrighty then. So, you guys, it's in the slums somewhere. Let's go ahead and switch this map here so we have a little bit better context here. It's in the slums area. It's not very well controlled there. So, yeah, go ahead and make me a connect. We'll say depends on how you want to do it. But we'll say connect either wisdom or charisma, depending on how you want to
It's the
deal with
same
it.
either way.
Okay.
So
Fair.
I'll just, I'll prod around a little bit, but then if I feel like I'm getting lost, I'll, subtly
Okay.
ask.
He is
7.
pretty okay. You get interesting. All right, so you get kind of directed in some weird places here and there. There are a couple false starts, but eventually, you kind of find some of the seemingly right people and follow their directions, and you come to a back alley with um a doorway that's sort of like halfway down the door, maybe 3 feet sunken in, almost like a basement door, and knock on there, and there is an individual of some description who had with one of those like eye slit uh slider things.
Yep.
It sort of slams open. What you want?
And my friends here are looking for some ways to keep themselves safer out there in space. And I like sort of step aside since it's like sort of hung like down on the ground a little bit. I sort of step aside to let him see.
Okay. Kind of looks over all of you. Okay. And the slit sort of closes. A few seconds later, it just sort of you hear the door deadbolt, you assume, with a pretty heavy thunk uh release, and the door slowly swings open. There's nobody at the door anymore though, and it seems to be a pretty darkened room.
I just step aside and sort of gesture, ladies first.
Lexi walks right on it.
Yep, there you go.
All right. You walk into what looks like a pretty low ceilinged it looks like a basement, and there are crates and boxes of various descriptions sort of strewn around, almost creating it almost feels like you're walking through like a gully. There's just tons and tons of detritus. There's a few paths that sort of snake through it. You do not see anybody in here, but there is sort of low fluorescent lighting throughout the whole thing. It's just also long shadows caused by these towers of boxes.
Is there a bell to press?
There is not, unfortunately.
So there's nobody visible right now. Just
Not currently, but you do see a couple paths that seem to lead deeper into the quote unquote sort of.
I will take the
Yeah.
most ominous one.
All right. Take the center one. And it as it sort of winds between all these various boxes. What's everybody else doing? That's with the group.
I actually don't need anything myself, so I'm just kind of standing there looking around at the various
All right.
words.
Think Girani's with you?
Yep, I'm just like kind of following behind Tex.
I'm just standing there, so I'll just gesture for Girani, like, go ahead, pick out what you want.
Well, actually, I'm not really sure what I should be looking for. Just something better than I just kind of pick up the laser pistol and rattle a little bit while I'm like pointing it on to the ground. This I don't know. This doesn't have quite the right punch.
Okay, so what are you looking for? Something big and hefty like Lexi's been using, or something more like Mr. Leaf, or maybe just something a little more your.
Something a little more, you know, quick but punchy. Like just kind of like waggle my arms. Just see, Ronnie's
very,
not an exerciser. You can
very,
tell.
very descriptive. All right, so sounds like what. Let me guess. You're probably wanting to be a little more to the medium or back of the pack if we get into some kind of engagement. Is that right?
Yeah, or preferably not at all. But if somebody is there coming at me, I do want to be able to put them down.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. You keep that little thing for somebody gets real close to you, and then maybe something with a little bit of range, maybe like a assault rifle or something, maybe like a SMG or something with a little bit of punch to it, but not too much kick.
I think I can work with your expertise, Tex.
Yeah, I'll kind of size them up and sort of feel like I'm fitting them for a shoe. Figure out what kind of thing I think it could handle, and then I'll gesture towards whatever wall that's covered in
Oh,
weapons is.
right now, all you're seeing is what looks like a warehouse with boxes strewn relatively randomly.
Oh, okay.
That being said, Girani, you have some insight into this with your history. Illegal operations, or at least maybe really gray area operations, tend to know eventually they're gonna get busted. So some have very quick pack up procedures, I guess you could say, and some use delaying tactics. And this looks like a great way to have a gunfight with plenty of cover and delay an assault on them while they get their shit out. And that's what you think you might be seeing here.
Mm-hmm.
With various paths and things, uh, you know, and you notice that the general level of or height of like the boxes stacks gets higher the further back into this large basement you look.
Well, it certainly looks like they have probably quite the selection here. Maybe even something that Miss Lexi might be looking for. Something maybe larger than life. Can't
Right, you gotta
imagine
take
guns
care
come
of.
much bigger than a thunder cannon.
You'd be surprised. You got to take care of number one. So I'd say focus on trying to find what feels most comfortable to you, and what sort of engagement you want to be in. Because I can guarantee, if we do continue to operate as a group, there will be some kind of shenanigans going down. So it's good to find your proper fit. I've got mine sorted out, so I know what works for me. But now you got to figure out what works for you.
Okay. I've heard of maybe mag pistols. I heard they have about the same range as this laser pistol I've been holding on to. It's only seen like a couple days at the range. Don't really go out to practice much.
That's all right. We'll try and work on that somehow.
Okay, I guess we should probably go find the proprietor, owner.
Hey, Lexi, you found something you want yet?
Lexi, as you're moving through this area, you are out of sight of the party, but you come to kind of the end of this where it's sort of you notice that there's almost like a wall with a single entrance. There's a small gap of these boxes. And as you sort of step up to it and look through, there is a relatively skinny looking gentleman in what looks like kind of tactical armor, for lack of a better way to put it.
All right.
And he is sorting through on a table. He's cleaning some kind of firearm. He's not looking at you directly at the moment. And there are kind of like, you know, the plastic fold out, long bench tables that are used at every fucking like school or
Oh yeah, sure.
yeah. So there's like 4 or 5 of those with various weapons and armor sort of strewn about on them. Not quite haphazardly. They're in general sections, but not super cleanly. But just sort of you see there's like one table that has various armor pieces. There's one table that is various melee type weapons, and then there's a few different tables. Sort of looks like one is for your typical pistols and smaller firearms, one that's more for your rifles and long range stuff, and then there's the table of the big guns, which is the one he's working on right now. And you see him, he's basically cleaning this very large and, from what you can tell, non-standard, so certainly fucked with in some way. It looks like a distortion gun.
Oh, there's a little glint in her eye.
And he is very lovingly sort of wiping it down and getting what looks like some dirt and grease off of it.
She'll just like she'll grab her plasma projector and just like place it on wherever there's space and just I need upgrade.
Well, welcome. How are you today? These are my wares. Have fun. What can I get you?
What is it you working on right now?
Ah, this is my pride and joy. The distortion cannon. Modded, of course. We do custom here, if need be.
It's good to know. What modification you?
Well, this particular model has he flips up this sort of square um metallic piece at the top of the gun itself, and you can see it's essentially kind of like a red dot sight, and it actually connects up to what you can now see is almost looks like a DBZ Scouter eyepiece. It has its own targeting system that allows for even more precise hits. Not that you really need it for the distortion gun, but it's fun. It's so much fun. Also, extended magazine, and you can see that there are 2 power cells crammed into this thing. You're not entirely sure how, but it seems to be there.
Oh,
And I've been working on some extra bits, but it's not quite done with that. But it is my pride and joy, of course.
how much you ask for distortion gun?
Oh, for this, with all the work I've put into it, I couldn't let it go for any less than 6,000 credits.
I would have been taking Durrani up to where Lexi
One
was.
second.
You would eventually get there. Maybe not quite right yet, but you could probably hear this.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I
He's
just wanted us to get up there to the guy.
yeah, you get that he's definitely projecting. He's a bit on the loud side. Very salesman, also circus performer, or ringleader, kind of general vibe from him.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Okay, is the 6,000 is a little out of my budget right now. Do you have do you have any slightly modified distortion cannon?
Well, I do have my new pet project. It's Well, it's not quite done, but it is pretty effective. I have a few things I'd like to still add to it. But and he sort of walks behind this table to a crate and pulls out one that is still, it is not completely put back together. There are some parts out. There's a power cell or whatever that is not attached, and like the trigger mechanism is sort of off at the moment. Currently, it only has the extended magazine, but I'm working on things. Okay, if you give me time, I can really, really make something special.
I tell you what, do you do the deliveries and such? If I was to contact you in the later date, we will be able to do some sort of long range business.
I don't personally do deliveries, but I have a few associates that could transport various items for me. Sure.
I tell you what, I take this distortion cannon, the one with the dual magazine. I take that now. You put together, I pay now, and maybe buy more later.
All right. Well, I certainly like the sound of business. This is going to be 2,000 credits, and I will put it together for you. It will take me maybe an hour to finish.
It's easy done. Also, would you take a trade-in for my beloved plasma project for a slight discount?
Hmm. Well, let's see. Yes, it's well used. It has. He sort of walks up to you and is sort of looking over the gun. Has some interesting additions, shall we say? I'm willing to buy this off of you, or trade in, as it were, for say 300.
Da, okay.
All right, so you owe me 1,700, and I'll start putting this together. And he sort of he goes back and sits next on a crate with a slightly taller crate in front of him, and is starting to put this back together with these very strange tools.
All right, yeah. Lexi will transfer the credits over, and does she get his contact info?
Not directly, but you could
Okay, well
potentially ask for it.
she's
Yeah.
just gonna hang around still anyway.
Okay.
She'll just hang around while the gun's being made and just I guess let Tex
All right.
and
Yeah. At this point, this is when Tex and Girani do walk in and sort of see him moving over to finish up the cannon. Oh, more visitors. What can I do for you?
Well,
I
looks like you got a deal sorted out. I got one more potential customer for you right here. This young gentleman's looking for something that would fit him.
This one here, the skinny one.
Yeah, the scrawny one right here.
I kind of just wave my
Uh,
hand a little bit.
Are you
And
joking?
he sort of walks up to you, Girani, like really close, and he's basically just inspecting you as if it were a weapon,
Like
and
a
slowly
street
moving around you. And you can kind of see a little closer. He has what appears to be a single robotic eye, biomechanical eye, and you can see the iris changing in a mechanical way, sort of inspecting literally your joints, your muscle mass, everything. Very uncomfortable.
See,
Also, he kind of smells a bit, a little bit like motor oil, and also like somebody who has not taken a bath in probably 4 or 5 days.
I kind of
Let's
like
keep our
put my
hands
hands
off.
together, like fold them up to my chest, and just like mush my fingers together real quick.
See, the nice thing about these guys is they can custom tailor you something as nice as any suit you ever. Support your local
You're looking
businesses.
for a weapon? Is that correct?
Yeah. Right now, I'm just kind of running with this, and I'll kind of like hold my like jacket back a little bit and like show him the laser pistol.
I I see why you need the upgrade. Okay, let's see what we have. And he starts. He's like he moves over to a table and it has kind of the rifles, machine gun sort of medium carbines. And he like rifles through a couple of them, looks back at you for a second, then rifles through them a couple more, holding a few of them in his hands, tosses one off to the side as he's sort of going through trying to decide on
Yeah,
what
just
it would be
I've only hit the
best.
range a couple of times, but recently we had a job where I realized that maybe I want something a little punchier.
I see. In that case, I think burst fire is a must. Perhaps. If you're not very good at.
I would
Aiming.
suggest plasma rifle. Can do burst fire mode. Range is heavy enough to do damage.
Yes, but it does require. It
Kind
does
of wave my like
aiming.
semi-gangly
So,
arms.
My
I was not
question is-
expecting this one to aim at all. I was just expecting suppressing fires long enough to get the port.
If that's the case, and he pulls out a shotgun, this may be the right direction. You don't really have to aim, you just sort of point and shoot.
Well,
It's not too bad.
and, Girani, I don't want to speak for you.
And
I don't know
Alexi
your whole,
just looks at fucking Texas.
but I don't know that you have a whole lot of combat experience per se. And if you're going to do something short range, that means you got to be up in the fray. So you got to know how to take good cover, actually be able to aim, all that kind of stuff. A shotgun is great if you want to, but you got to be up close to them too.
No, please no.
Okay, fine. How much do you plan to spend? Ish.
I kind of take out my equivalent. Well, I take out my data slab. Just I look at it just long enough for him to like show him that I have like 1,000 credits, and also, I also have other stuff I can use as collateral.
Did you just show the dude how much money you have?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Lexi looks like she's not associated with these people.
InfoSec is not your thing. Okay, despite being a hacker.
No. It's on purpose.
So, in that case, you weak arms, weak legs, weak mind. Need burst fire. Used to pistols, lasers. I guess this would have to do. And he reaches back, back onto the table, pulls out a laser rifle. Recoilless, not hard to shoot. It's basically a big version of what you already have, but you can at least fire in burst mode, which means better chance of hitting something, assuming you know how to aim in the general direction, as opposed to wide sprays. That being said, we could potentially add auto targeting for a fee, but you don't have that kind of money.
Would I be able to, with your supervision, of course, sir, test the rifle?
Sure. I have a little target set up somewhere. And he reaches down. He finds like this small, or he picks up this small metal cube, maybe about 8 inches on the side. That is burned, scored, pitted. It's very obviously been used as practice on many occasions. He looks at it for a moment, looks back at you, sets it down, and picks up essentially what is a pizza stone,
yeah.
like a large circular pizza stone that has a few pockmarks of its own. Maybe this would be a better target for you. He walks about 20 meters away, actually about 10 meters away, sets it up onto a set of crates, looks at the crates for a moment, checks one of them, removes it, sort of holding it to himself, and then puts the essentially large sort of serving tray almost size thing on down. It says, "Have at it."
Cool.
Yeah, it's just a straight laser rifle, and you can fire it in burst mode.
I will try semi-auto first.
All right. You hit it pretty convincingly. Managed to punch a hole in it, and you can hear a slight singeing on the far side from one of the wooden crates.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. And I'm gonna try the burst fire.
Sure. You once again hit it. You also there's one that might spray out a little bit, but yeah, you managed to hit your target, and once again this time you don't really quite punch a hole in it, but you can see the metal has heated up enough that it starts to slowly drip down the front a little bit before cooling.
Oh,
See,
okay.
it seems like the perfect fit.
That actually works out really good. Can we talk about what kind of modifications we could probably do? And I kind of walk off to the side a little bit where there's like a crate where I can lay the rifle down.
Well, it depends on how much credits you have, but a modification would cost, well, depends on the modification. Really, the only thing you could afford would be an extended magazine. That's 400 credits.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and pull my data slab out and turn it to like the equivalent of incognito mode. Sir, do you happen to? And I'm gonna do this a little quieter. Do you happen to have a private source of acquisitions? I realize that I don't quite have the capital right now to maybe get anything truly substantial, but I have some
You're
information here for
400
you.
short. Oh, never mind.
If you're willing to not take on a line of credit, but take on a level of confidence for maybe future transactions.
Are you asking for contact info, or are you asking me to let you buy something without paying me all the credits required?
Of course, I can pay you right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my little medallion of the cobalt sharks, and then flip over to like a little bit of information that I have on file for the armory on Megon Base. If you were to so choose, I have this currently on for the black market for I believe it was 4,000 to 5,000 credits. I'm willing to sell you this information for any later transactions. Not right now, of course. For maybe we keep each other on the short list for any goods we might find.
Now that's interesting. All right. I'll take the info, and if I find something interesting, perhaps we can work out a discount kind of deal. But for the moment, you're paying full price for this.
Of course, just the base model, please. And I'll go ahead and do the whatever I need to do to take the job off the board. And
Okay.
Well, in the interest of good faith, let's go ahead and bump that down to 3,500 credits.
We'll call it in 33.
Well, I have seen your work, and I kind of like nod towards like the two really fucked up distortion cannons. And I'll go ahead and reach out to shake his hand. You will find the information in your hands very
He shakes
shortly.
your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that leaves you at 29. And he hands you the laser gun or the laser rifle.
Excellent. That's all good.
Yeah. So you have a 2,900 credit or line of credit. Not really credit, but you got 2,900 credits you can spend here before you actually have to spend money now. Store credit of 2,900 credits, that is.
Nice.
And he goes back to working on stuff. But yeah, you guys see a lot of modified and unmodified various items here. Tex, with your knowledge, you would see an extended range sniper rifle, heavily modified, lying on a table.
I find myself, despite myself, sort of looking the thing, not like picking it up, but like just eyeballing it.
All right. Just kind of looking at it, you can see it's certainly got auto targeting on it. But you also notice that there are seams across the weapon itself. Multiple seams. Even the barrel seems to come apart. This would be... Yeah, I think you have an idea of what it is. This would be a form of concealment. It is able to be broken down into its constituent parts. And you would guess that even at full build, you're not going to find it with most TL4 scans.
Interesting.
Kind of invisible to X-ray, essentially.
Do you want to assassinate somebody, Dick?
Well, what do you? Oh, this is it's just such a cool looking gun. Looks like you could shoot somebody from a long way with that thing. I imagine.
Yeah, okay, I believe you.
Oh, Mr. I just kind of turn towards the owner.
Yes.
Mr.
Oh, right. You probably want my name. Most just call me the Armsman. It's easier that way, but I suppose we'll have to talk more often. My name is Chance.
Okay. Most excellent, Mr. Chance. How much would it be for, let's see, 5 Type A power cells?
60 credits.
I'll go ahead and just pay that out of pocket.
All right.
Thank you very much.
He sort of nods and is still working on the distortion gun.
Go ahead and just try to find places in my pack and on my new Vex suit to fucking stow this shit.
All right. If you guys hang out for a little bit longer, he finishes up putting the distortion gun back together and sort of does a half charge on it, just to make sure it's all working. And hands it to you, Lexi.
Is the target still set up?
It is.
Oh my god,
Okay.
no.
Oh, Jesus.
13's
Christ.
enough to hit. Yeah, it does. It this time you pretty well vaporize a large, probably full dinner size plate, dinner plate size hole in the center of this metal plate. I mean, it's just gone.
And there is a
So is the crate behind it. There's also a big hole through that.
well, there's also a god-fearing thump when you pull the trigger.
Yeah, yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, okay, I like this one.
Good, good. Well, I hope to see some business from you in the future as well.
Absolutely. This looks like it will serve me very well. I would very much like to be able to contact you in the future in case I require more support.
He just sort of points at the side of the distortion gun, and you see a little, essentially business card. Um, it's slightly hollow foil, so it changes in the light. Says it just has a number on it and a picture of his, and essentially like a silhouette of his modified distortion gun on it.
Is this like part of the gun, or is this just like a little
No,
card
it's just a
wedged
little
in?
card that he,
Oh,
he
okay,
just
okay,
stuck onto the side for you
cool.
already.
Yeah, she'll grab it and nod politely, and guess be on her way.
All right. You see, as you guys sort of gather up your stuff, he turns back to what he was doing, and you can hear him sort of whistling as you're leaving, cleaning up his own distortion gun.
Thank you much for the fantastic service, sir. We'll leave it.
All right. Well, don't be a stranger.
Oh, I'm sure we'll swing back by this way real soon.
Good. And he just goes on doing what he's doing.
Yep, we head out.
All right. As you head out, on the way, you notice the things that you didn't notice on the way in. There are multiple explosives taped to the back of a lot of these crates.
Oh, Lexi's got a fucking huge grin on her face. She is just, I like this Chance guy. I enjoy Chance. He's a good guy. I like his stuff.
I'm just gonna quietly. Yeah, he's definitely not above board. I've seen warehouse setups like this. It's meant to it's meant as a delaying tactic in case anybody's onto him.
Looks like fun.
Anyways, I do have to make good on that promise I made about explaining things once we were in the ship.
All right, so you guys are on your way back at this point. So, for those who stuck around and aren't working on the ship, I believe that leaves us with Nord and Evil. Are you guys doing anything in particular at the moment, other than eating pizza?
Oh no, it's not pizza
Totally
today.
eating pizza.
And
I know.
not paying attention.
Oh, is it not pizza today? Or
Oh,
is
it
it
is
pizza?
pizza today.
Oh, it is.
Totally ate
Always
pizza.
It's always pizza.
Every day's pizza day. Pizza in the morning,
Yeah.
pizza afternoon,
No,
pizza for
no,
supper time.
no, I will not let that happen. I cannot have pizza that often.
Evil went out to buy rations for everybody and only bought pizza.
Yeah, how
Yes,
many
that's
boxes of that
okay.
do we still have?
You guys have 30 days and it's all pizza.
Good lord.
No,
There's different topics.
Real
So
quick.
Jay's going to be still working on the laboratory or
Okay.
med bay, trying to get all everything around because
Okay.
she's short. She has to make sure she can reach everything in an emergency.
All right. Yeah. You spend the rest of the time sort of getting everything ready also for takeoff, making sure everything's secured but
Yeah.
easily reachable. Now that you're pretty happy with the setup you've got there in the bay. All right, that works.
And I'm going around the ship and like checking things, make sure everything is like looking good and helping where I need to.
Okay. Yeah, sort of getting an update as to what the ship is looking like and all that stuff. Getting kind of familiar with where stuff is.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay.
What was the name of the station again?
Ouya 2.
Okay.
Yep. Finally leaving Ouya 2 after a while.
How do you spell that?
ULYA 2. It's a refueling station it's technically the Sybil station, or a Sybil system, but Alamo is here as well.
Got it.
And there is a local planet as well called Evarble, which is a weird name, but whatever.
Sounds like somebody was about to look like the planet name and then had a brain fart.
Yeah, kind of.
Welcome to the new land of Ivard. Anyways, let's get on
It's
the
like
fucking road.
getting welcome to the Amarantine Oubliette.
Yeah, something like that. So, with that, you guys are sort of setting up, and Tex, Johnny, and Lexi sort of, you make your way back to the ship. I mean, the whole escapade probably took 2.5 hours to get down to the slums, find the thing, talk to the guy, get the fuck out, and get back to the ship. 2.5, 3 hours. So,
Okay. I'm gonna spend the rest of the time that the ship's getting worked on familiarizing myself with all the displays and getting them set up how I want them and that kind of stuff.
okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
and
like
You get a
to
little
do
bit
any
of Alex
heavy
in the
stuff.
Expanse setting up all the directional displays around him, and
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and send Mr. Chance that heavily encrypted packet.
All right. You send that out, and there's like a little confirmation thing, very nondescript. That is basically a package received on the other side. It's like a red notification on an email.
Yep.
All right. And Tex, while you're there, as you've been the main point of contact, you'll get a little message from Indra asking when best to head over. You would also know that you need to sort your docking fees. Well, actually, docking fees are going to be mostly covered for you because of the deal that you guys made. You don't have to worry about that, which is nice. But yeah, and Evil, you get a message from Charles. In the message, there is a couple of things. One is is another copy of the contract, essentially, that you guys have signed as for purchasing the ship, listing your crew, and you get a title. It's a lot like a car title, but for the ship, listing the name with the name The Horizon now emblazoned over it. The ship is, assuming the bank doesn't have to take it, the ship is officially yours now that all repairs have been complete.
Yay!
There's ID codes and all that good stuff. So, at that point, it's really when you guys want to leave. You guys have some time. Typically speaking, the maintenance crew would basically tell you to run a full systems test before you take off after a rebuild like that. Technically, you could leave right the fuck now without doing it if you wanted to. But also, Tex would have this because he was, like I said, the point of contact here. There are 2 large cargo containers that need to be loaded into your ship if you're going to be taking the mission for Indra.
Yeah.
And her destination, initial destination, is included here. And it's 0306.
Should we go to the map?
Yep. Hold on here. Keep forgetting that I didn't do that. So it is kind of diagonal and north. Right up here. She also said that there was a secondary destination, and you guys could talk about compensation, but would like to do that after you guys are in the clear and out.
Okay,
So,
so that if I'm understanding this right, then we'll end up jumping to 0006 and then over to 0306. Is that how that works? Or is it literally just go straight 2 hexes? Like I'm trying to understand the trade routes. And stuff.
Yep. So you would go straight to hexes. The trade routes are just where people travel the most.
Oh, okay, I see. It's
So
not like
you're going to run into traffic a lot more there, and they are charted. So that also means if you go along one of the lines, your difficulty for your jump is lowered.
so is 0407 just north of us? There's technically a line through there. Does that kind of?
I suppose that one would.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were meaning for that one or if you wanted 0507.
Yeah, I mean, and when I say charted, I just mean I'm going to give you guys a -1 to it because it's so typical. If you're following a route. So if you're going from one destination to another, so if you're actually going to follow the full line, I'd say that's when you get the lower thing. So in that case, no, it wouldn't, because your plan would be different.
But it's still a charted system, though.
It is a charted system. You're not going uncharted. Everything around here in this area is charted.
Okay.
So there's just not much there.
Yeah.
So to
If
get
we
to
were going out here, for example,
Yeah.
that would be
that would be
an issue.
uncharted.
Right.
Yep. Basically, all the lighter colored hexes are charted.
Oh,
That
okay.
is the sector or the region. If you go out here, that is uncharted. It does exist.
The routes are more populous, and if we wanted to do some, say, space piracy, or run the risk of space piracy, or maybe protect a ship from space piracy, point being, it's likely that that's where we're going to run into traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever
Or
traffic
just
might be.
other traders and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay.
If we were stranded without fuel, we'd want to be on one of those lines.
Yeah, I'd run the checks. Do we? I guess we need to load it. Yeah, because we got the little lift thing. So yeah, I'd send. I don't know, whoever wants to load it, to load the 2 crates. We need to have the shuttle in one of the like corner bays or something. So it's
Yeah, it's up to you if you wanted to move the shuttle to the corner bay or move the cargo containers. Well, the shuttle actually, I don't know if it's going to fit.
No, it won't.
Yeah, the shuttle has to go in that center part.
okay,
So you would have to remove the shuttle out, load those in, and then you're good.
we can do that.
Yep. All right.
I guess
I'll
I guess
take the
I don't
shuttle out.
know.
Lexi and Leaf, you get the crates.
I guess I would actually ask Evil, like, hey, that is our shuttle, right? That we're keeping that. That's not from this station. I mean, you approached us. I don't know what all you had with you before.
Oh yeah, that's my shuttle.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send the crew back and get that taken care of. We'll get loaded up and then get ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and start running checks, and then we'll have our clients come and we'll.
I will
Alright.
help with any system diagnostics for like the more background shit.
Okay, you pull up like the system, not nav, and what ships are around in general. Simple enough to do. After pre-flight checks and the like, you see 2 individuals in familiar power armor sort of walking towards the ship.
Oh, okay. I was going to wait to contact them until we were literally ready to dust off, which I guess could be now.
Well, they're coming with the crates they're delivering.
Okay. Yeah, I would have let them know basically as soon as like we had like tests done, engines warmed up, ready to go, and then like I'd just fucking lower the ramp and say, all right, we're ready to.
All right, that works.
Because they were
So
like, oh, we want
we'll say
to
you
do
guys
it."
move the shuttle out. We'll say you guys move the shuttle out of the way, and then you see them sort of rolling up with the crates. Each one, you see that the crates actually have their own little grav chutes on them, or grav repulsors. So they're relatively easy to push, and they get loaded on. Takes about 30 minutes. You guys can load the shuttle back on, and those 2 stick around.
Yeah.
Right.
As they're just kind of moving in, I like to strike up something of the conversation. Or let's just say, yeah. I don't think I've ever really witnessed that much tech put into just transport before. Is this kind of thing normal for you guys?
Well, let's say it is specialized, yes?
Fair enough. Can imagine whatever you're transporting ought to be pretty heavy. Speaking of heavy, question about your armor. Is that factory or custom?
It was factory, now it's custom.
Fair enough. Do you have a factory on your world? Or is it more of a relic?
Some people have a factory. We don't, but we make do. Also,
enough.
you'll notice that you've seen plenty of power armor,
Mhm.
looking through ads and things like that, salivating. Most of it, if you look at somebody in power armor, you can't tell like their gender or much about them because
Mhm.
it's armor. These ones seem to be cut or molded in such a way as to make it obvious that the wearer is female for whatever reason.
And look down and say, is that weight cut for, or is that material cut for weight, or are you just kind of making it custom? With I'm noticing the odd contours that are typically non-standard for industry specimens of that particular model of power armor.
Let's say on my planet, men wear the power armor, or men fight. We like to prove what we are capable of.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If there's somebody with power armor and he wants to kill me, I'm not exactly worried about what gender they are. But fair enough.
It's more of a statement for us, more than, say, useful. But they provide the same protection. Just takes a little bit of extra work.
Fair enough. I've actually been thinking about putting some of my own skills to the test, but I've been running low on credits, which is why we're partially doing this. Well, I am partially doing this. No, but I've been interested in the whole field and whatnot. Making one from scratch seems a bit of a in treat, but nothing nothing I'm against. I think it's potentially interesting.
You should talk to Ala. She knows.
Does she?
And then you see the other individual sort of put her finger up as like a shush motion, and the one that they both have their helmets on. The one that was talking to you just sort of stops talking.
You know who this Ala person is? Like where I might be able to find him?
Later.
Oz just kind of shrugs and sort of wanders over to continue helping to push the fucking crates.
All right, we'll say for the purposes of this, get loaded up. They stay in the cargo bay with their bit of cargo, and you guys all have to decide on where or what your stations are.
Maybe you'll be a gunner.
Oswald's
yeah, I'll
gonna
definitely
flip
pilot.
open that hatch
it'll work.
in the center room to the lower parts of the ship, climb in, and before he goes down the ladder, he says, if it's an emergency, I know, so don't contact me. And then he closes the door.
Well, I guess. Can we get the map of the ship real quick?
In a minute, yeah.
He's
outside
officially
for the moment.
Scotty.
Because I know we have the pilot, navigator, and then whatever the third seat is over there.
All right, pilot gunner. Well, all right, so
they're both
we will
gunner.
go through this a little more stringently because Evil will have to pay attention. But
Yeah,
there's
it's not
pilot,
here.
pilot, gunner. Well, there's bridge, gunner, comms, nav, engineering. I realize that's only 5. The other people can be floaters, or you can choose a department to be a part of.
I'm in medical.
There are
So.
2 gunner positions
Alright.
as different types of weapons.
I will handle
Yep.
comms.
All right.
Lethal man turret.
So 1 turret each, Busty and Leaf. Which one of you wants which turret? There is a sand thrower and a multifocal laser.
Ooh, rock, paper, scissors.
Lizard spot.
or arm wrestling.
Your pick, man.
I'll take the laser. I guess.
All right, Lexi will
Alright.
be on the center.
Yep.
All right, that leaves we got Jace is essentially a floater if need be, but
No comment.
typically medical.
Just like
But there's no direct station for that. That's all.
this will be
This will come in. This will come in real handy if we ever go to space combat.
We probably will.
Eventually, sure. I don't know when. We'll see.
with Chase's chemical or chemistry expertise. I think that probably really good at mixing up some cocktails for us.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know it.
Well, I mean, we definitely have our navigator with
That's me.
well, you and also Captain Evil.
If anybody wants to look it up, it's under ship combat in the PHP.
Question for
That's
the
exactly
captain.
what I
What are
was
your
doing.
skills?
Star Captain.
That's foci.
Yeah,
What do you
good
not
at?
have zeros in?
No, what do you not have -1s in?
Yeah.
Oh, those skills. A lot of things. Connect, exert, know, lead, notice, perform.
Lead
Survive.
works for bridge. No, lead works for captain rather. So that'll work.
But not
Yeah, the
pilot.
captain is the captain is its own thing.
Huh.
All right. Let's take a couple minutes break while I set up the ship map. Let everybody go to the bathroom or whatever they need to do before we take off, and we'll roll from.
All right.
All right. In
Captain.
that case, I'll be right back.
Tanaka, what's your shoot skill at?
+1.
Okay.
With a +2 attack bonus. Yeah, for
Semi warriors get 2?
full warrior.
Oh, you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
Okay.
get their
I thought
full
you went
level.
semi. Nice.
All right. Some big cargo containers in there.
That's what she said.
I mean, sure. Here's Indra and the other one. Yeah, there's that.
I'll be back.
Any particular reason you're posting the departments? Do you want us to claim, or do you want to just putting there for?
I think it'd be a good idea if before we got started, we had an idea of where people were generally.
Well, how
I've got a
about this?
question. Which turret is which, like top and bottom?
Okay, sand thrower is bottom, multifocal laser is top.
Okay.
And these are the gunnery seats here on the outsides.
Right.
Comms can be run from the bridge if need be. That this is more long range, almost like a newsroom. I kind of feel you can run comms either there or at the bridge, your choice.
No, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be up here. Not that far from my room, which is kind of downstairs. Almost.
Okay. All right.
Psych Tex has actually been a doctor this whole time.
Well, the thing that I really like about this game is that your stats are more flavor than super required, if you noticed that. Like, yeah, you can be better at something, but like it's not such a huge deal because the stat bonuses are relatively small. The foci is where you get a lot of your stuff from instead of your stats.
Bumping up to that 3d6 is like fucking huge.
Yeah. And I really like that. So you could have a doctor, right, with all these crazy physical strength stats or shoot and stuff like that, and they could be pretty close to just as effective.
I think
Just
the
like the
stats
doctor
more or
from,
less define what you
Atlantis.
kind of what you look like in a sense. Like I
Yeah.
imagine a strength doctor is like a fucking butcher who happens to be a sawbones, effectively.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the vibe I would get. Whereas
Exactly. It's way more flavor than it is mechanical. Like in D&D, stats are super mechanical.
Mhm.
In this game, they're less important, and I kind of dig that.
Also, what are you two doing? Also, why are the two of you? What's going on?
Probably drew one out at one point. Yeah.
So why are they so small?
Oh, the small size is the correct size.
Yeah.
Oh.
Move some stuff around. I don't know where Evil wants to be.
I think that was her call.
Yep. I'm going to move that over there.
Then Dex, why aren't you in the big chair?
That's the captain's
Move people
chair.
Where the captain sits?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I would like to sit in the big chair. Fuck yeah, I get the big chair. This was a Star Trek thing.
Now, where are the joysticks?
Yeah, these are pilot seat there, I'm assuming. Is that where you want it to be?
I mean, I'd love to be in the middle, but I figured that was a captain's thing.
I think that was the original design from Busty.
No, I'm totally fine with that. I'm not trying to like demote
Yeah.
myself down to the front pit.
Yeah, I think well, I mean, I guess it's really up to you guys how you want it set up. I don't really
Best
care.
visibility, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, which seats were what, Busty?
I noticed there's like a gyroscope here, so I'd imagine that has something to do with the pilot, but
I just drew shit, man.
okay, well,
fair.
that doesn't help.
You guys can decide on where individual things are.
Well,
Evil, do you have a chair preference?
Well, does Evil need to have a chair in the bridge?
So let's talk about that a little bit. So you guys aren't obviously going straight into ship combat at the moment, but it's probably going to happen eventually. So this kind of matters a little bit. Evil, are you around? I just want to make sure you can hear me. Guess not.
Wait for it. Wait for
6 months.
Nor does evil
later.
around.
Nord, are you around?
Noggin. On pizza.
Okay, rules change. I am now playlist.
No.
I am
Oh,
Captain.
God,
Before you
no,
can pilot.
please.
But yeah, I would like to, if you guys are good with it, I'll sort of go through a general overview of like space combat and the systems. Because while you're in system, so when you guys are in spike space, it kind of doesn't matter. The ship kind of just does its thing. You probably want to keep an eye on stuff, but you don't. I mean, it's almost autopilot, right? You're shooting in a straight line. You don't got to worry too much.
I
And
think
you're
actually,
in spike space.
I think I want the actual like normal pilot's position. One, because it's
Yeah.
based off everything, but also then I can see directly above me. So
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Okay. The
So
second
then
thing,
I have a counter like off to my right where I can put my dinosaurs
yeah, there you go.
or my Clint Eastwood bobblehead.
So in my head, my thought process was pilot, secondary comms / pilot station. If you ever needed a secondary pilot or something, a co-pilot. Gunnery is pretty obvious, and then that could be the captain's area, which just showed graphs and any critical system failures and gave general information about the ship because of what the captain's role, especially in combat, is. Right? That was sort of my thought process. It doesn't have to be that, but yeah.
Jace could totally take that out of the chair there and
Yeah.
just do be like the scanning person or.
Well, Girani is on your comms. There's a secondary comms station. Although I might almost argue that the comm station can back up and is hooked into the same systems, but is more for long range telecommunication and inter-ship stuff. Whereas scanning might be different. I don't know. Depends on how many guys you want out of the bridge and all that good stuff. So it's up to you.
Is course plotting done from the pilot station, or is that in the like tech room? I can't tell if that table's map.
That the tech room is a workshop. Essentially, it's a workshop for electronics and things like that, sophisticated computers, that sort of deal. The plotting is all done from the bridge.
Cool.
So it's a half an hour to properly plot a course.
Yep.
I'm sure you read up on that stuff, considering.
More
So, yeah.
on navigation than I did even in combat. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta fucking know this shit.
Okay, so what I do want to do is go through the combat stuff just as a general overview, so everybody kind of knows how it works. Because I have a random table, and I don't know if and when you guys will run into something like combat.
War
There's
creatures
always a
suddenly
chance.
phase into your ship and eat everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Wait,
So
no,
once
I didn't
Nord
mean
and
that.
Evil are back, tell me. But yeah, I would say your typical in-system with population and near busy areas, you'd probably want everybody at their stations. And then once you're out of ways, you can kind of cut out from that most of the time. Just as a general rule, or at least that would be how most ships would operate. So, yeah, I just don't want to explain it 4 times. I mean, I will, but, I need to also put that together for myself. Yay for more macros. That works. I'll throw that one in bar, that one in bar. Take that, those out. That'll make my life a lot easier. All right, so if anybody wants to refer to the ship combat stuff, they can. But the big thing to know is the captain decides what order you guys go in. So each department, general actions are going to be a little different. I think you can kind of choose to a certain extent to respond to stuff. Let's see here.
Yeah, you can basically it's either like do like some sort of like action based on whatever ship system department you're in, or help, which is kind of like accruing points for the next person to use on their action or whatever they.
Yeah, so essentially you're going to have a couple of different things. One, the captain chooses who goes in what order. The captain does not choose what you do. So,
do I have to choose the order at the beginning?
At the beginning of the round, yeah.
Okay.
So, this is only in combat. Normal operations are a little different. But yeah, you're going to choose, all right, do we yeah, so you get to say, okay, so the bridge is going to go first, and then comms, then gunnery, then engineering, and then general.
Yeah.
Right?
Generally, general should be at the first.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying you can choose in any order. General is where you're going to be generating a lot of your command points, and that's your resource.
Okay.
Anybody can take general actions. So even if you're in gunnery, right? If you're not firing, you can take a general action to help generate command points. Here's the thing. The captain chooses what order things go in, but you choose what you do. And if you have a pool of command points, you can take one of those actions and burn off command points, and nobody can stop you. That's the other thing to remember. So let's say Lexi goes fucking nuts. She can do fire all guns and burn off 3 command points, even if that's really not a good idea at the moment. Or whatever. So the ship combat actions
do a
in
thing like that.
in the book are important. However, there are a couple things before you guys take off that I figure you all should know. Crises can happen. Just keep that in mind. Especially with spike jumps. It just kind of happens sometimes if you get a bad roll. It is what it is. Dealing with crises is important. But this one's more for Girani. There's something called a detection lock that you can do to if you're searching for a ship or if a ship is searching for you. That if somebody's hunting you or pirates or whatever, detection locks are how they keep track of you. It's how you keep track of them. Escaping one is potentially a good idea in certain places and a bad idea in others. So that might be one.
If you get locked on, there's like some kind of ship alert or something.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of they notice you. The thing is, actually, if you scroll up from space combat a little ways, there's like maintenance and repair, and this is just above that in sensors and detection.
Right. I've read a little about it.
So, if the observer uses passive sensors, you have no idea that they have a lock on you.
Okay.
If they don't, then you know that they have a lock on you. It's basically sonar ping or just listening. for lack of a better way to explain it. So that may or may not come into play over time. We will see. So I just wanted to do a quick overview, and obviously, if and when we run into situations, if you got questions, toss them out. That's fine. But since now we're dealing with ships and travel and all that stuff, I wanted to make sure I kind of just gave a quick overview before we did anything.
Would I know what base speed my previous ship?
Your previous ship had a spike drive 3 in it.
Right. What about just base speed? Because I think our Horizon says speed of 3. I wasn't sure if I.
Oh, let me look. I can tell you in just a second. Let me find it.
This
Oh,
one.
and are we going to be using the that silly like weapon cycling thing?
How do you mean?
I can it depends on your spike drive, I think, and you can like go into like 3 different phases, and you have like or
Oh
whatever, however
yeah,
many phases. I forget where it's from. I think it's under the spike drive section, but it mentions something about that there in ship combat, that you can
yeah. You can
like put your ship in a certain one of the since we have a spike drive 1, we can only go into one
Oh,
phase.
right.
like
And then if
spike
they
space.
shoot right, there's a 1 out of 2 chance or whatever that something.
Oh,
Is
I
that
don't
actually
remember.
in TUI? That's surprising.
It's
I
in this
think.
manual. I remember I read it somewhere.
Okay.
Like that just sounds like it's way overcomplicated. I'm honestly not super
Yeah.
fond of it.
But yeah, I don't know. That's
Okay.
what I was wondering.
That's a good question. Do we? I mean, it does add a little bit as to what, all that stuff. I'm can't
I
say
don't
that
think
I'm
we
a
need it. I
fan.
really
I
don't.
don't think we need that extra level of complexity.
I'm
'Cause, I
kind of
mean,
good with
it's-
that.
Yeah, it's basically just like you have like a 50-50 or whatever chance of like being in the same dimension essentially, where it's like, oh, it went through them because they're not in the same dimension, or you
Yeah.
happen to match up. Like, you can only hit each other when you match up.
How about this? Certain ships are capable of doing that, but it's not normal.
Under that.
Fair.
It's
That
like
way, it might
spike
it
drive
might be like a
bullshit.
high level sort of. I might make a mod for something along those lines, or like a defensive thing that allows you to do that. It's super expensive, probably, and typically you'd find it on like military covert ships.
Like that.
That way, it's still in there if we ever want to use it, but 95% of the ships that you're going to deal with, it's not going to be a thing. I kind of, because I kind of think that in certain specific situations, it could be really interesting.
Maybe at like higher level play, but not yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, very quickly, your old ship, Saber, would have had a speed of 4.
Shit. Okay, it can outrun us.
Mhm.
Good enough.
A speed of 4 unladen.
Okay, gotcha.
A laden that comes down.
Oh yeah, obviously. Thank you.
Yep. So, as you guys sort of set up, Indra and one other individual who you did not get the name of are in the cargo bay. They sort of just settle in for whatever is going to be the ride here.
Oh, they're coming with.
Yep.
They are.
Oh, don't we have spare beds?
Well, they're
You
probably
do.
guarding it right now.
Okay.
As we're just preparing to take off, I'm gonna get on whatever sort of loudspeaker comms thing, whatever is back there, and be like, "All right, ladies, hang on, we're taking."
Through a couple cameras that you got here in the back, you can see they each sort of brace themselves up near the containers themselves, staying pretty close to them. But yeah, so Evil, if you want to place yourself anywhere, and I'm gonna just move you down to the spike drive here.
We move the shuttle back in
Oswald.
too, right?
Yeah, I'm just
Making sure
I didn't
somebody
grab
did
them.
that. No, that's right. You don't have to move it. I just
Yeah.
Just
No worries.
just left
We left it
the
behind.
fucking
Just
ship.
leave
Yeah,
the shuttle.
That's what I was
Oh,
worried
shit.
about.
The station. That'd be pretty great.
So to
Um,
be fair,
think I
if
did
we
send
did
you.
want to, that shuttle would make a pretty good missile.
if you needed to, yeah. Blunt force missile.
Yeah,
That'd
just
be
load
very
it
good
with
to
like
wrap something
fucking
around.
100 grenades or something.
Yeah.
We can fill it up with chemical explosives, no problem.
Biological warfare.
Should have kept some of that.
Yeah, if
mush-
it's pointed enough, it'll crack the egg of the shell of the ship. We're good.
Yeah. Just fit a giant hypodermic needle to it. Off the front end. I would do something
Just a
stupid
giant
like that.
firing pin put on the front of the ship.
Right.
All right, tester complete. I'm taking off.
All right. So you get docking clearance from Ulya 2. And for the first time in a while for you, Tex, you're flying a proper sized ship, and slowly the blast doors that surround the docking bay go up, and you hear the sort of familiar latching sound as the blast doors themselves connect to each other, forming an even stronger bond. And the rear door slightly opens as you all hear this around the ship. The air just vents out, blowing past, sounding like a crazy November wind. And slowly the door behind the ship itself opens to allow you to leave.
Yeah.
Doesn't require a piloting check. You got a perfectly serviceable ship, and this is a pretty normal operation. You slowly back the ship out and away from Ulya 2. And as you do, you can see the station one more time, and you can see the construction area. There are a couple of construction drones buzzing around, their little lights signifying where they are. You can see a couple of smaller courier craft and maybe a free trader, free merchant like yourselves, along with one large freighter docking at the MRC area. As you slowly turn around for the no wake area will probably take about an hour to get out of quote unquote no wake. As you set out on your way out finally into the stars.
Yay! Short-term goal complete.
Meanwhile, Johnny, as that happens,
Mhm.
you immediately see what I guess you might have assumed, although you've never really held this position on a ship exactly. You automatically get a sensor lock on you from the station that refreshes every so often, along with a few other ships that you see near the station, sort of just picking you up and knowing where you are as you move through space.
I hope that's
Um,
supposed to happen.
Nothing too crazy, thankfully.
This is like
we-
the third ship
we-
he's ever been on.
We have a completely untrained crew. Actually, while I'm pulling out of the station, I'm actually going to turn around to Evil and go, "Hey, so who piloted your shuttle before? I just want to know who all on the ship has any kind of piloting experience."
Oh, I definitely did.
Okay, good. So does that mean you have skill in it? Speaking partially out of character.
Yes. Wait. Kind of.
That's
Define kind of.
not convincing.
What's your pilot's skill? Does it say -1 or not?
It's a -1.
Oh,
That means no, is what that means.
Yeah.
You dare
But you do have
challenge Captain.
Starfare,
hold
right?
it up here.
Yes. No, I have Star Captain.
Oh, that's right. So, yeah, in this case, it comes from your foci, which is basically as a navigator, I think.
Well, here's the gist of why I'm asking. Spec drives take about usually 6 days, depending on the situation. You can make it shorter, you can make it longer, depending. So I'm not going to be doing that all on my own. So we'll have to do shifts. So some people will have to be somewhat familiar with piloting in order to be able to just watch it.
Yeah.
Why am I not convinced?
Does anyone else have any experience? I think me and you have it.
That's what I was asking. Do you want to stay up for just the two of us for 3 days, 6 days? Because I've
Does
done it
anyone else
before.
have any
It's
experience of
not.
piloting?
You hear over the comms, I can drive a car.
Spike drives are just about the same, so we'll be good. Actually, well, I mean, you and I probably would have done some spike drills anyway, Ozzy. So I imagine I'd have some familiarity with just like.
Yeah, but you always took over the piloting, I would imagine.
Well, but during spike drill, it's just like just shifts just to make sure nothing's going wrong, essentially.
Yeah, it basically, I will say, this ship is larger than, say, it's physically larger and newer than your old ship. It does have an inbuilt, especially with Jirani's work earlier, it does have an inbuilt system where if something goes wrong, it lets you know.
Oh, good.
That being said, having somebody kind of just on board and keeping a vague eye on things once you're in spike space, probably a good idea. But spike space is a lot like hyperspace in that once you're kind of set on your path, it just sort of does the thing until it gets to where it needs to go.
So somebody doesn't have to be at the station all
No.
hours. Just
but
basically just check.
but yeah, basically you just leave it on monitor, and if something gets a little fucky, it'll hopefully tell you.
Okay, never mind that.
Unless the monitor system is what gets fucky.
Yeah.
So, there's always that.
I've had a ship that hasn't had one very much, so that's fine.
All right.
I start once we're out of the wake zone, just heading out to the edge of the system.
All right.
Which
It is
two-
going to be 2 days travel to the edge of the system.
I can trim normal spike drills, but not trim the distance to the edge of the
Not
system.
intra-system, no.
Okay, that's fine.
No, unfortunately. It'd be nice, but no dice. So, as you guys travel towards the outside of the sector, through the cameras you can see that Indra and her compatriot have brought their own food.
Oh, good.
And resources. They seem to be relatively content to be mostly left alone. But you guys sort of settle in. You can even go into semi-autopilot once you're away from, the main planet and everything after about 6 hours.
Yeah, once we get a little ways off, I just wanted to say to somebody, basically just say over my shoulder to whoever the hell's in the room, just, hey, we might want to have somebody go and offer our guests some, rooms and refreshments if they'd like. It looks like they're okay, but just to be courteous to our.
Yeah, I've got the shortest route. I say as I'm going to take my hands off the keyboard for a second, and just go up the maintenance hatch.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. It brings you right in.
Where's the maintenance hatch?
Yeah.
From
right there.
here, it'll go.
Oh, it's
here.
Okay,
It's
I thought it was
right
the
there.
forward
Cargo
hatch, not the. Okay, I got you.
As you
Just
do,
sure.
pretty much immediately there are 2 rifles pointed in your general direction. But once they recognize who you are or whatever, you see them go back at ease.
Put a hand up and say, I'm not offended, but who else would be on this ship?
We don't know. This is after our experience there on the station. We are maybe a bit jumpy. That is true.
And I'm sorry to hear that. But anyways, look, we've got spare beds and rooms if you need it, as well as maybe some spare foodstuffs if you'd like.
We appreciate it, but we would be okay. We have worked very hard to get this cargo. And we would like to stay with it, if that is okay.
You got cushions in that thing? Because otherwise, I can't imagine it's going to be nice to sleep in it.
You do not know where we are from, do you?
Can't say what the foggiest, but I'd be willing to learn. I say as I just kind of, still on the ladder, kind of lean over it, arms crossed.
We are from a hardy world. Badlands, rocks, desert. It is not a nice place, I suppose. It toughens you. Still walls, places to where the wildlife will not kill you as you sleep. This we can handle no problem.
Yeah, but I'd imagine you'd have made the concept of beds, right? And that's not against.
Yes, we
I have,
understand those.
I've made my way back that direction.
Sure,
Okay, I'm gonna grab 2 pillows on the way, and just pillows, not sheets, nothing else. Just
Sure.
take pillows and just toss them, sort of, basically in the middle of the room. Just go. Yeah, but it doesn't hurt to have something nice to put your head on.
Thank you, Mr. Tex.
My pleasure.
As he walks out, I just say, I would have gotten you those, but it wasn't on the way. Anyway, yeah. Anyways, let's just. The more you don't want to tell me about your planet, the better. But for now, I should probably get back to the engineering bay.
Did you say planet or plan?
Planet.
Having not heard what they just said, he probably just texted probably to say it's hot. There's rocks. There's a lot of people that want to kill you, and a lot of animals that want to kill
Huh.
Accurate.
Yeah, that's about what they said. Anyways, suppose I'll leave you to where you are. Anything engineering related, come get me, I guess. Just down here. Just kind of goes down the ladder a few rungs, closes the door, opens it up again. Just
They're
down,
both-
down here.
They're both looking at you
I'm
like
gonna come over the PA.
they've taken their helmets off to speak with you a little bit better, and they're both looking at you with like these soft smiles of like, okay. I mean, that's really all you get is like they're being really nice to you. You know, they have those sort of soft smiles on like it, but it just covers the face. You know, it's just like
Mhm.
their faces look nice and they look like they're trying to be interested or whatever. But you can see not on Indra. Indra is sort of maintaining eye contact or whatever. But the other one is sort of looking over, glancing over periodically at the cargo containers, just sort of almost checking to make sure that they're okay.
Rolling your eyes.
No, just but you can certainly see that they're both still kind of tense, even after just a few hours or whatever. And Indra looks at you before you go down the hatch and close it. We will make sure to do that. Thank you.
Wonderful. I guess see around. I mean, if not down here, I'm probably in the workshop working on thing. But
Isn't
Chink.
down isn't down there literally just the spike drive and wires? There's got to be some better place we can put it.
There's got to be a place that's, marginally less radioactive.
It's not so much radioactive. It's just kind of weird. Anyway,
That's fine. We'll work
Yep.
out of it. I'm just gonna stay there leaning on the rail, and we're basically under semi-automatic pilot
Yeah.
control, whatever. So I'll just kind of lean on the rail and go. So what's this about? Wanting to change this up? You originally had said, and I don't know if this is what you changed, Raven, but originally you'd said you wanted to go 1 or 2 hexes, whatever sectors.
3 or 4, or sorry, 2 or 3 is what I said. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what's the situation we got here? We're currently heading to the edge of the system, so we have time to sort out what y'all want to do.
Well, we at least need to go to a nearby planet. If you wish to drop us off there, that is okay. We have contacts there that we can use to complete the journey. If you would like, there is a full route, I suppose, that is 5 total hexes, or 5 sectors. It is depending. The downside is that it could be more dangerous, and we understand if that is not in your best interest.
Well, I think that well, it depends on our crew, but then also how worthwhile that'd be for the crew as well.
Yes, well, um, we can. We cannot. We do not have too many extra credits, but we can add another 25,000 on for the second half of the journey. And a favor, I suppose. I don't know what it is that you would prefer, but we could potentially work something out.
Well, a Rakisa favor is certainly no small thing.
This is true. The interesting part, if you feel up to it, is at the end, if you wish to go the full distance there, would require some quite expert piloting, perhaps.
Well, that's one thing I got in spades.
Agreed, Mr. Tex. So, it is something to talk about, I suppose, but either way, my understanding is this ship is not capable of going too far at once and would not be capable of making a single jump to this destination. So, I believe the best move would be to go to the original destination and choose what to do from there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Is the well, now that we're off station, would you be privy to tell me what the five system destination?
Sure. We would like to eventually end up in a system over a planet called Mikula. I'll move you guys to the map so you guys have some context of what the fuck I'm talking about. And from there, we have a task to complete, and that is all that is really pertinent for this. But if we could get there, that would be advantageous. The less that we have to transfer ships or move or be potentially seen more, the better.
Well, it's always interesting going out near the edge of charted space. I'll talk with my crew. We'll get things set up to go to the first point we had discussed up in 0306, and then we'll go.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Tex.
My pleasure. If you ladies need anything, let me know. Or knock on the grate there and see if you can get old Oscar the Grouch to pop up.
All right. You will do that.
And Dex turns around and walks out.
All right. They kind of go back to. You can definitely tell they're kind of still on edge.
Oh yeah, I understand.
But
remember what was the first amount like for the normal job? I forgot. I thought I had it written down, but
50,000.
50,000. That's right. Thank you.
Yep. 50,000 to get them 2 sectors. And you assume to drop them off wherever it is that
Right.
they need to be dropped off to do the rest of it.
Okay.
And then they said that they could add another 25 if you could drop them at Mikula.
Yeah, I got that one. Okay, cool. I will head back up to the bridge and make sure everything's working right.
All right. So you guys have, we'll say, that first 6 hour or first 6 to 12 hours is sort of just checking on everything. This is a proper live test of everything moving. So everybody's, it's a little bit of adrenaline. Just, your ship is under its own power and actually fucking working this time. But about 12 hours goes by. You guys have another day and a half before you get to the edge of the system. Anything in particular you guys want to do?
Just gonna do some tinkering.
I'm gonna start trying to patch in like functionality between the console and the tech and the comm station.
Okay.
Just so like, hey,
Yeah,
I have access to this
I'd
shit
say
while I'm
you
up
could-
here.
Yeah, I mean, you can get at least data readouts and stuff like that from there. That's
Yeah,
fine.
but I'm gonna make sure I keep the storage
Okay.
unit I have off of the local accessible network.
All right, so you'll be running a couple, maybe an extra wire or two, setting up protocols, all that stuff. Take you about a day, with a few breaks here and there.
Yep.
To do whatever.
But I'd help Jace set up afterwards. Probably a key code system for her computer or her data slab in the lab.
All right. I'm gonna say, especially once we start with these spike space travel, longer distances, stuff like, and more time. What I think we'll do is we'll go to once the spike jump is completed. You guys stop me or tell me if you guys want to do something. So speak up. That's fine. Happy for that. But that way we are not burning off. I'm not going through day by day when we don't need to be doing that. You know, if you got a project you want to work on, just shout it out. Or if, you want to talk to somebody, have an RP moment, that's fine too. Just tell me. But that way you guys are stopping me instead of me doing it the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll speed up the
Oh,
game a little bit, especially with the huge amounts of time in spike drills and things like that. I don't want to be like, all right, so this day, what do you want to do? This day, like, we'll just sort of do generalized stuff comparatively.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes things a little easier.
For all the intra-system travel, I'm going to be staying near or in the bridge, but then like once it's in like spike space, whatever, I'll be able to move around.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say you can sleep near it. Your room's pretty close by and all that stuff.
That's why I did it. Yeah.
Yep. All right, no worries. Have pizza on the bridge and a little more pizza on the bridge and some more pizza on the bridge.
Who the hell bought all this damn pizza?
Pizza has all of their daily needs.
Can we not make this canon that it's actually all pizza, please?
Dough.
Wait, are you saying you want it to be canon?
Well, I said I don't want it to be canon. I said, could we not?
I mean, it's really up to Evil. She's the one that you guys had go buy food. So
I bought other food too.
Oh, thank God.
But they
Well,
didn't
also,
request anything, so I
also
bought things.
patch in a question. Aren't you the one that wanted to buy 2 months worth of booze?
Oh no, that was Lexi.
Indeed. Oh. Fair enough. Never mind.
I'm just the one that went and got it.
Lexi does want to conduct a test.
Uh-oh. A test of what?
She'd probably grab Durrani and say, "Come with me," and bring him into the. And all right, so basically, she's going to grab the porta box, shove a power cell in there so it opens up, and she's going to stuff Durrani in there and shut it. And
no!
Oh my God.
And ask Jace if she can like scan it with her little bioscanner thingy and see if it will detect his like life force or what the fuck. If it Lexi wants to know if that thing can be used to like block scanning if we need to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like playing with scanners. Okay.
Did you put me in there first, close the door, and then go get Jace?
Yeah, before she shoves you in there, she's like, "I have no idea how long you'll be able to breathe in there. Just hold the."
Wait, breathe?
I'm being of a scientist myself.
Holy shit. All right, let's see here.
Do you want me to do a perform or something?
Let's see. As you pull out your, I guess this would be.
Bioscanner?
Oh, it's airtight. Yeah. So just
Oh,
trying to figure.
You die.
Just reading over it real quick. All right. So
I would like
First
to
off-
attempt to break out.
I would like you to make me a physical save first. Okay. You're losing air. Go ahead and this will be. You don't have the key card, so interesting. You're kind of crammed in there. Sorry, how do you want to try to break out?
Just fucking push on the door.
Give me an exert with strength.
Eh.
Okay. So, Lexi and Jace, as you sort of arrive back with the bioscanner and look, you see the door is bowed open, like is bowing in the center, and then you hear a ping as the door gets pushed open and Girani falls out of the porta box gasping for air.
What the fuck?
Oh,
Are you trying to kill me? There's no air there.
oh, okay. Well, good to know now.
Oh my god.
And I'm just laying there.
Could you go get back in, please?
I just give her a look. What? No.
She just slowly just like picks him up.
No, don't put me back in the box, please.
I mean,
I'm sorry, your squirmy
I
is
will fight her.
making me giggle a little bit.
I
Just
will
stop it.
do a
Just-
contested exert check.
all right.
That's not gonna go well.
All right. You're fighting her, trying to fight her off, and
Yep. Jace,
Lexi,
please.
exert
No.
strength, and
Break him in half.
Girani, same fucking thing.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Oh,
okay.
the wiggling
So-
wins.
So Lexi, as you reach down, you grab onto Girani's like the front of his shirt and start front of Girani's shirt, start picking him up. And as that happens, you see this wild, terrified animal look come into Girani's eyes. And Girani, you manage to kick, punch, scratch. You don't even know what you're doing anymore. At all. You don't remember this at all, but suddenly you're free. Lexi, you've been kicked in the face. You've been punched in like the stomach.
Exploded.
Most of it was, and it really wasn't that bad. But Johnny got one heel kick off, and it hit your kidney, and man, that one stung and got you to let go. And Johnny, you managed to sort of skitter away in that time.
I'm going to the tech room. I'm locking the door.
All right.
This is amazing. Misty.
Lexi will just go on the comms to say, is there anyone that would like to volunteer their time? I can't.
You're gonna have to
I'm
say
gonna-
again, Lexi. Over.
I'm gonna lock the workshop door.
How big's this box?
1.5 by 1 by 1 meters.
Big enough?
You might be able to,
Yeah, I should be able
you
to
wouldn't be
fit it
able to yeah, you wouldn't be able to take your weapon in there, but you could probably fit in if you had to.
Okay. I'll take his weapons off and crawl in and close the door.
Hold breath, please.
Yep.
Okay, now ready. Scan box, please.
Okay. You won't need to roll for this. As you scan the case, you see both the case and then you see that there is something biological behind it. A basic porta box does not hide you from bioscans, unfortunately.
Good to know. Lexi will open the door.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that's how Leaf died.
No, you're all right.
Where did Johnny go run off to?
A little baby go back in home. I don't know.
Comms
Squirm
room.
like.
I'm in the tech room.
Oh, the tech room. Tech lab.
Leaf will walk by, knock on the door, pussy, keep walking.
Oh, I can see this crew's going to work together very well.
Girani's gonna remember
that.
Cut to like 2 months later where like she's hanging from a cliff and you're the only one there. Long live Lexi.
I am sorry, someone has to be sacrificed, and I am too lazy to do it myself. Just easy to kill you.
Well, you never know. All right, so, if there's any other business, speak now, forever hold your peace. And as you guys move out towards the edge of the system,
I'm getting to work if you want to check or
Hey,
anything.
I am going to hack into Leaf's status lab or compad
Okay, that's gonna do you any good.
and make it ring every 45 minutes
give
at
me
the
a
loudest
program.
volume.
He's just going to break it.
Give me a programming with intelligence. Jesus fuck. Well, at a 12, you do that, and I think Leaf.
Sure, you want to do that?
Well, so yeah, you set it up to do that. You would also see some interesting, a couple of maybe contacts that you've never seen before, but is what it is.
Oh,
You
I
would
don't mind.
recognize.
I'm
You
not
would
gonna go into his
recognize a
business.
single. Okay.
I
Interesting.
just want to fuck with him.
All right. It works. Leaf, your phone goes off every 45 minutes.
How much room is under the? Is there any like room under the doors into rooms?
Actually, no, there wouldn't be.
Okay.
They are all capable of airlock, or at least kind of weak airlock. But
Yeah. First, they'll try and turn it off.
Ooh, wait.
turn off the phone.
Idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so Robin, totally up to you. Allow if I can do this or not, but I want to make like a phantom call using one of the contact information every 45 minutes.
At a 12, yeah, you could do that.
Okay, I'm done. That's it.
Why is my mom calling me every 45 minutes?
My gun connect keeps prank calling me, never
Yep.
picks up.
Okay, well, that's gonna get weird. All right. So the first time this happens, about 45 minutes after you set it up, Leaf.
Yep.
You have a really interesting moment. As you guys move away from most comm arrays and things like that, you get what appears to be a phone call from your trainer.
That's kind of weird.
Oh shit!
Still haven't come up with a name for that guy.
Nope, that's fine. We'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
But you get a phone call from one of your trainers. Yeah.
Hello.
Just static.
Okay. It's just static. There you go.
Okay.
Just close out the call.
Yep.
All right. 45 minutes goes by. And this time, it's not your trainer. It's one of your old squad mates.
How's that possible? Hello?
Just static again.
Yeah. All right. Goes back to sleep.
45 minutes later, another one of your squad mates. And this continues with various contacts from a previous life, so to speak.
After a while, he'd just smash the comm.
Just gonna break the
Yep.
comm pad.
I called it.
Oh.
All right.
I know Tanaka.
It's going to be 50 credits to fix it.
Fix it. I'll just pull it.
Eventually, we'll have to get him a Nokia. Those things are indestructible.
That jitterbug.
Oh, God. Ugh. Anyway, so that's how that goes. Jace or Evil? Anything?
Yeah. I would just be staring there watching what Lexi and Ned did.
Okay. Yeah. After that, though, yeah, you learn that you can scan through relatively thin metallic objects, no problem, and see what's on the other side. You get the feeling you probably wouldn't be able to do it. You could probably get an idea of if there's a biological thing behind a wall, but like probably full thickness blast doors, not so much. You'd have a vague idea that that would be the case. Certain materials make it difficult to scan through, but you can get through lockers and shit like that.
Yeah. Okay. After that, I just go back to my room or
Alright.
the medical bay.
Yeah. All right. Evil, any projects? Just because you started that whole cycle.
Anything I needed to finish up and familiarizing myself with the
Okay.
ship more.
All right, that works. So at this point, we'll say you guys get out to the edge of the system, or you're approaching it. So, I mean, you guys have a few options as to where to go. Where are you going?
I was gonna go north one sector and then northwest.
All right, so 407 and then 306.
Hang on, let me zoom back in. Since our
Yep.
maps are such different scale, it's difficult.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm gonna
407 and 306.
Try to work on that.
Also, I'm going to trim the course.
You will trim the course.
Yes.
Okay. See, and what was your foci?
Basically anything that is level 10 or lower, I automatically succeed.
All right. See.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
It's all good.
Starfare. It's the level 2, level 1 of it. Sorry.
Yeah, difficulty is a 7.
Should be,
so
yeah, base for 7, and then
Yep.
is it reduced even?
And trim.
Yeah, +2 for trim.
Yep.
+2 for trim, +1 for 2 hexes.
What? No, we're
No,
going one.
you're going one
Oh.
hex.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can only jump one hex at a time.
Right.
But your charts, your rudder is less than a month old. So that's -2. So you basically get a free trimming course.
Cool.
So base difficulty 7. Which means you don't have to roll for it.
Nope.
Good thing. Because
Yep.
you never fucking know.
Yep.
All right. So you guys have 6 days as you go into transit between the systems.
Every single
But-
day, Girani will be pointedly avoiding Lexi.
I actually wanted to, once we get going on our first jump, and it doesn't need any piloting control or anything anymore, I'm going to kind of try and work with Girani and teach him a little bit about just basic, just like, okay, how to take cover,
Okay.
getting your weapon ready quickly, that kind of stuff.
Okay. So before all that, though, as you sort of cycle up for the jump, do you guys want to go to all hands just for the jump itself, or you guys? It's up to you. But either way, everybody in the ship would hear not so much a rattling, but what is sort of that low hum of like the air circulation system and general hum of a spaceship uh, begin to build as the spike drive actually, for the first time since you've been here, cycles up. Oswald, if you're down there, you see it starts to get bright as this thing starts generating a very large amount of energy. Um, you kind of have to shield your eyes as this sort of bassy sound grows and grows. Um, you point yourself in the right direction, Tex, and as the jump happens, you all feel a bit of a jolt as the ship accelerates incredibly fast and creates its own little tunnel into spike space. Um, jumps a little disconcerting, and throws you off your feet for a second, but uh, nobody's gonna fall over or trip and die or anything like that. It's just maybe new for some of you. And as that sound built and then dissipated, um, the general hum of the ship is now has a new sound around it. Sort of a, I don't know if you've ever heard like the November winds, high winds through the trees. It's kind of like that, but there's almost a voice-like quality to it. It's hard to explain, but it almost sounds like a low wind-whipped moan. After about an hour, you start to tune it out, but anytime you kind of re-notice it, it kind of sticks there in your head. It's hard to really get 100% used to.
And
Evil.
nobody wanted to call it the Siren's Call.
Evil.
Uh-oh.
You hear a little more than most. Doesn't affect you in any statistical way or anything like that, but you feel just a latent psionic energy around you, just completely surrounding the ship. And it just goes on forever, as if it were echoes slowly rippling through space. It doesn't seem dangerous, but it is creepy.
Yeah. All right.
And I don't know if you've been in Spike Space before, but it's generally speaking just slightly wrong. Like it's just off, and all of you kind of feel the pretty much the same way.
Lexi drinks it off.
Fair. But with that, you are in Spike Space for the next 6 days.
3 days.
3 days. Sorry. You cut it in half.
Yep.
So, next 3 days, you guys are in Spike Space.
I'll probably let everybody know too. Like once we get the jump going successfully, I'll just say, "All right, we got 3 days of spike space, whatever. Just for 3 days till we drop out, and then we'll have to."
Yep. And Oswald, if you want to spend time on projects and things, go ahead. Let's start with a fix with intelligence,
You got it.
as to come up with the actual design. Figure out what the fuck you're doing with it.
10.
All right. You futz with it. We'll say this started sort of, you were working on it a little bit before you got into Spike Space, but now you can really devote a lot more time to it. So it takes up until maybe a few hours after you get into past the spike drill that you kind of you think you have a pretty decent workable design now. and you start sort of going through, sorting through all your components, finding what you're going to need. Say that takes up your first day. Kind of getting the basics out of the way. Let's see. I'm curious. Yeah, kinda.
Would have picked a shorter video, but there's not one of that particular sound effect on YouTube. At any rate,
Yeah, it is similar to that, but
it's a
much
weird,
fainter.
dull humming kind of thing.
Yeah, just much fainter. All right. So that'll be day one. Go ahead and give me a fix with dexterity to put it together and see what you come up with.
Sure. 13.
Very nice.
God damn.
You're pretty sure you got something that will work. It might not be as efficient as a purpose-built Icarus harness,
Mm-hmm.
but it should allow you to drop from a long way and at least stop you from hitting the ground and going splat.
Yeah.
Which is you figure pretty solid.
Main three functionalities are the actual grav harness part, the protection, and the temporary vac suit.
Yep. And you're pretty sure you got it all working. You don't really want to test it outside right now.
Yeah.
But you get a vague you kind of run it through a system test and it seems to do all the things you want it to do.
Oh, what's the
You're
worst?
pretty happy with it. Right.
Die.
Jump out in spike space, man. You never get out.
Who wants
What
to play
eventually?
truth
That's
or
the scary
dare?
part.
Yeah, if you actually do get out eventually, that is kind of the worst part, potentially. All right. Anybody else have some projects?
like to get
I know you were working.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. What was it?
I'd like to get started decrypting the red and blue data drives. Oh, the one red and two blue data drives.
Which one do you want to start with?
I'll do the red one.
Okay. And where are you decrypting it?
I will be partitioning it off in the storage unit.
Okay. In the separated one?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Give me a program with intelligence. This is incredibly heavily encrypted, so we'll see how far you get.
I do have that.
Yep.
To level 2, so no modifier.
No modifier for this. 8. Okay. This one here on the red is the most sophisticated encryption you've ever seen. Ever. You spend the next 3 days periodically checking up and altering various programs to attempt to decrypt it, and you get a little bit kind of down to its usable form, and it does look like a lot of strings of code, but kind of inactive code.
Do I feel like if I leave it alone and come back to try again later, it will not self-destruct?
Doesn't seem to have anything in it that would self-destruct. At least it hasn't when you connected it up, and as long as you don't change anything, you should be okay. I mean, but yeah, looking at it or whatever, it doesn't seem to have any explosives or slagging
or self-terminating
pieces
code.
yeah, doesn't seem like it as far as you can tell. Although you would have to admit to yourself you've got maybe 0.5% decoded. And the cipher, the encryption seems to be rotating and not rotating with any significant pattern. So you're actually having to decode individual segments of this code. It's kind of nuts. Like you've seen paranoid motherfuckers before. You've never seen anyone paranoid like this before.
I've looked into some bank stuff and it's not even this hard.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
boy.
you could pretty easily you know, compared to trying to hack into the Credibank back on Suna, this that would be incredibly easy comparatively. May or may not have even done it before, just to see if you could.
Well,
You kind of chalk it up to this is just a brute force thing. It'll take you a while. Not impossible, as you've already proven, but it's going to take you a while.
all right, I'm gonna give up on it for now.
Okay. Just
So,
sort of
like,
leave
at
it
the end of the 3
with
days. Yeah.
Okay. As you come out of Spike Space. All right.
Yep.
Anybody else got some projects or anything else they want to do over the 3 days that hasn't spoken up?
Nope.
Okay.
Sleep.
Oh, so you leave?
Yeah, Leaf's gonna sleep.
Okay. That's fair.
His phone isn't ringing every 45 minutes.
No, he broke that.
Yep.
Oh. That was
Probably
totally
didn't
my
know
fault.
how to use it anyway, so yeah.
All right. So, the end of that time, Indra and her associate have spent most of their time down in the cargo bay. They may, make a couple trips here and there, maybe to go to the bathroom or grab some food, or mostly they have their own food, but may use your microwave essentially or oven periodically. They're mostly off on their own. But as you guys come out of Spike Space, you once again hear that building bass sound. And it eventually culminates in another sort of sound as you exit the spike drill into. It's weird. Like, there's no star around you. Like, there's no large fiery ball of gas nearby, gas and plasma nearby to light up everything. You're just in deep space, and there's just nothing around. For some of you, that might be different than normal by a lot. For some of you, it might just be kind of the normal thing.
I get on the PA and I just for the whole ship I broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look out of your port or starboard window, you will see nothing. This is fucking deep space.
You definitely see through the cameras in the back bay Indra chuckle at that.
And can I immediately start up for the next jump, or do I have to like go somewhere? I mean, there's no star, so I don't know if it's counted as the edge of the system.
I mean, you even on a star system, you're at the edge of the system anyway, so you can start
Okay.
spooling up for the next one. I'll say, well, let's give it like an hour cooldown period between
Sure.
the out and in. I think
I'll have
that'd
lunch.
yeah. You have lunch,
I'll start running
and then you guys
diagnostics.
get set up for your next jump.
Jeez, are we flying a fleet carrier?
What?
Oh wait, we don't. No, we do have upkeep cost. Yeah, basically flying a fleet carrier from that one game.
It'll be dangerous. That thing's still in beta. At least the carrier function. But I digress.
Yeah.
All right. So I want
Oh, where'd he go?
Oh, there he is.
And you're back.
I was
Hey.
stupid and switched to my phone for a couple minutes. I'm going to toss it at you guys. Who wants to be the bookkeeper?
Not it.
Not it.
Not it.
I guess I'll keep some books.
All right. Well, you guys normally have 2 loads of fuel. You have 1 now, as you've used 1 for spike jump.
You got it.
You also had 30 days worth of rations, and you are now, what, 5 days in?
All
Yeah,
right.
is that something we can track on the sheet? Because I mean, I can do it if it's like navigation
We
stuff.
can
I
put
can
it
do
on the notes pretty easily. So if we
Oh,
just
yeah,
put more stores, we'll get that at 27. I think we spent 3 days, right?
Yeah, Horizon already has that set in
It
the
should be
notes.
5. There were 2 days in system, and then
Gotcha.
3 days in.
So we currently have 25 days of food left, and I'll also put above that just interstellar jumps. We have 1 left.
Yeah. Because yeah, there's a resources thing in the character sheet, but I'm not seeing it on here. Then you can just add whatever you want. Like I've got my total ammo.
Yeah.
I can't really seem to go into edit mode. It
You
doesn't
can't.
change
Well,
anything.
it's in edit mode. In the ship is in edit mode
Oh, okay.
currently.
Hold on.
But yeah, we can't add more resources, which is annoying. You can
Okay,
do it.
that's
I've
fine.
already done it on my character sheet, but can't do it for the thing.
As far as spike
All
drills,
right.
I'm gonna like keep track of that mentally
Yeah.
anyway. Because yeah, it's only 2 at a
Spike
time, so
drills
it's not
aren't
that
too hard to do.
Yep.
Yeah, most ships can only do 1. Unless you have fuel bunkers, which is why you have fuel bunkers. Also, if you look at the ship sheet, you do have fuel scoops. You can
well,
scoop
we're not
your own.
near a sun, but yes.
Yeah.
No, but you will be next.
So we can scoop our own.
That
fuel
being
if we
said,
need.
you can scoop near a sun, or if there's a gas giant system, you can scoop there. Sun takes 3 days. Gas giant takes
what?
How many?
Takes how many? You cut out.
a week.
Okay.
Okay.
Just so you know. And it's 500 credits per load of fuel as a base price.
If we're buying it somewhere, anyways, and not scooping it.
Yep, exactly. So that's your trade-off.
No.
Just figured I'd throw that out there since we're on the topic of fuel. Obviously, this will all become a little bit more old hat over time. So, you want to set up for your next jump? Easy enough to do. It's going to be lower than a difficulty 10, and I'm assuming you're jumping the course again?
Yep.
Okay. Well, in that case, if anybody has any projects for the next jump, feel free.
I'm gonna
Gerardi, where are you? No.
Jesus.
God.
I'm gonna turn the lights off in the tech lab and the comm stations. But no, yeah, I will probably start getting to work on one of the blue data slabs or data drives.
All right. These ones are much less encrypted. You notice that it's a lot of tables. A lot of tables with various. They don't really correspond to anything. That's the thing, right? There's no directive of what the tables mean or are supposed to refer to. It's just a lot of tables of various variables. And a lot of them are just blank too, but they're there. And at least on the first one that you're digging through.
Okay, I'll file that away for later.
I'll say you're probably going to spend a while searching through them for anything meaningful.
Oh no, I just want a first glance of what's in it.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much what you see after you break the encryption. And I'm not going to make you roll for it. You are a hacker. This is a much lower encryption. So I'll say it takes you a day or 2 to really dig through the first one to break encryption and all that.
Alright, I'll go ahead and work on the second one, unless somebody needs me for anything. Besides Lexi.
No, I probably would have just wrapped up any training I tried to give you over that.
All right. Yeah, you start getting a little more familiar with the laser rifle.
Hey, I can break it down and reassemble a laser rifle in under 15 minutes now.
Cool. Now do it blindfolded in 2 minutes. No, I'm kidding. Go, go, go.
Meanwhile, you're shooting over his head just to
Yeah.
add some extra stress.
I have a question about that. I'm not going to test it, but is our hole thick enough inside that, like, I don't know, theoretically we could use the hangar deck or cargo space as like a.
I would,
I would
not.
argue. I would argue that a ship's hull, your ship's hull, is strong enough to resist some weapon fire to an extent. Like you're going to need a heavier weapon to break through a ship's hull. Typically speaking, if you shoot at the same spot repeatedly, probably not a good idea.
Okay. I wasn't going to do it. I just wanted to know sort
but,
of what the general consensus was.
If
But I
you
would say
need-
your typical small arms are not going to break through anything but like a window, that sort of thing, just going forward. But something the size of like a thunder gun and up, that'll do it.
Okay. I figured.
if you require a target range, I can set up an insta panel to shoot at.
No,
which,
I don't need one.
I.e.,
Alright.
Lexi must keep her weapon unloaded at all times.
yes.
Yeah, I would.
Hardly loaded.
That raises a question for me. If someone's chasing us, could we open up the what do you call it?
The rear door?
Cargo hatch.
The cargo hatch, the rear door, and just let Lexi go loose with her biggest gun at the
In
ship chasing us?
theory, but we
Yeah,
would have
if
to
it's
drain
close
the
enough.
ship first.
No,
okay.
just no, not everything. Just
It
the
was
cargo bay.
just a question.
Yeah.
Like it seals.
Potentially, yes.
She
I would
needs some
say-
sort of like tether, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's basically what they did in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Was Drax went out the back and shot at people.
I would say you could do it. It would leave the internals of the ship exposed. You would have a real bad time. I would say you would take damage and crises at the same time. If you decided that you needed to do that, if they got a shot through that door, because that's a real bad day. But I would say it is technically possible. The effectiveness, you're not so sure.
Yeah, there's
On
always the
anything that is
possibility-
actually anything combat designed, probably not going to work.
Although you just gave me an idea out of character. What if you just strapped some jetpacks onto Lexi and have her, like, land on the ship, mag boot, and then shoot the distortion cannon into the engines?
What if she misses and then gets vaporized by the next thing that hits her?
Yep.
Well, it would have been worth it.
Anyways.
Why do I have
I'm
a
gonna-
feeling that this campaign's gonna end with me just carrying a fucking giant bomb into like something, and then it's it's
Bowling ball rolling a bomb out the
Don't
back.
worry, Lexi. I can put you together no matter what.
No, no.
oh god.
I love it, Dord. I love it.
Well, this is our crew member, Lexi. Don't mind the awkward look that she has in multiple directions at the same time. She's died and been put together a few times. She's
Looks
a little
like an
piecemeal.
IG-88 droid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I gotta
Just
get
just
my
biological
12%
instead.
plastic.
All right.
All right,
Well,
Busty. See you later.
Later, hobies.
See ya.
take it easy, Busty.
Uh,
I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
All right.
And actually, on that note,
Yeah, we'll probably wrap up here in just a minute. But I figure I'll let anybody else jump in with stuff. However, partway through this second jump, Oswald,
Yeah.
you would get a knock on your little thing, on your hatch.
All right. At this point, the Icarus harness is done, right? Or is it still in the process?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, you would have pretty well finished it up.
Okay. Then in that case, I'd be working on my next project, which would be modding my mag pistol to be customized, which just makes it easier to hold in armor. and just kind of better suited to me and my style, which gives a +1 to aim and stuff. But working on that, I'd open the door, sort of the I imagine the Icarus harness, or like the armor, sort of half on, like the lower half, just to wear it out a little bit. But I open the door. Yeah, what do you want? Oh,
And you'd see a non-masked, not Indra, the other one, looking down at you. Uh, I understand it. You might or had some questions earlier about some tech.
well, I was just curious more than anything. You Allah, was it?
I am not Allah, but
No.
we can talk to her if you wish. Um, uh, we actually could use perhaps your help a little bit.
What kind of help do you need?
Well, perhaps you should grab some of your other crew. Um, we have not been entirely honest with you, which I regret, but we figure you did not, well, you did not turn on us after the jump, and we think we could trust you and your crew now.
I'm flattered. Um, I'll get everyone else then. And
Alright.
I'll just kind of throw my helmet on, press a button, and say, "Hey, folks, this is my new helmet. How does it sound? Good, good. All right. All
Sounds
crew to
great.
the cargo bay."
All right, I'll head back that way.
I'll poke my head out the comm door, see if Lexi's on the same level.
I thought it was something like that was going to happen.
She is not.
Imagine she's sleeping at this point.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say she's sleeping at the moment.
Excellent. I'm gonna come down the back stairs.
All right. So yeah, as you come out, you see Indra and where's the name? Carol. Karil, if you care.
Hey, Durrani, I can still scan you. You're okay.
But no, stop, please. Don't. I would like to remember as little as what happened as possible.
Okay.
And please, if Lexi ever gets another idea of shoving me into a little box without explaining what the fuck she wants done, hit her with a trank or 5.
Oh, I have something for that. Yes, I was planning to use that when after I'm done tranking her up for on the military chems to bring her down. But I could use it earlier. Yeah, that could be okay.
Yeah, oh please, only if I'm in danger from her.
Oh, not so she can sleep.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, as you guys gather in the cargo bay, Indra sort of looks up to all of you up on the balcony and around. I regret that I have not been entirely forthright with you. You must understand, and I believe that Mr. Tex might have an idea of what we have gone through to a certain extent. And you can kind of see her face looks like you can see on her face she looks just tired. Like, that moment after all the crazy and you finally get the chance to relax a little bit. Like you can just see she's just tired. She looks more what you assume her age at probably 45 is. Um And she sort of looks up to all of you. Our purpose is we do not plan nor wish any of you any harm to start with. That is not our intention. That has never been our intention, but we took a risk. I had a feeling about you, Mr. Tex, that had you have the eyes of one who comes from the mountains,
Hmm.
one
Yep.
who has had to fight and seen the devastation that can be wrought in those circumstances. So I took a risk, but I could not, in good faith, take that risk uh, completely. Our mission, I suppose, is in regards to some of our sisters. They have been taken, and we wish to get them back. That is our end goal. As such, um, Carly and I are not the only ones on this ship. And she opens the cargo bay, and four more Rojava militia sort of exit.
Wait, I thought it was Rakisa.
Rakiza is
I
the planet.
Oh,
Rojava
sorry.
is
Yeah,
the
you're
place.
I
right.
immediately
my bad.
pull my pistol out and tuck it behind my back.
We will not. We do not wish to attack. I just wish to come clean. Our end objective is to assault a base nearby. Unfortunately, and you can see like the other four, they've got score marks and pits, more pits in their armor, or at least newer ones, as if they'd pretty recently been in a firefight. Unfortunately, some of our equipment fell to a fight we had on station. We cannot offer too much. If you would wish to help us with this, if not, we would prefer that you drop us off at our contact. But we did sustain some damage. My sisters are not safe right now. They are held in captivity once again, as we all were at some point.
Who's
And
got him?
a mercenary strike force.
Hmm.
My understanding is that they go by the name the S-Born. They are a small group that was likely contracted by, well, at least what was once your people, Dex.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I bear you no ill will. You are helping us already, and I do not wish to cause a problem here, but I must get those that have become my sisters back, one way or another. So, Arya, Allah here, is quite proficient with building things and fixing things, but she could use an extra set of hands. And I know that you have a rather skilled mechanic with you as well. And we would like to offer uh, what is left of the armor of the one that did not make it out of that fight. as payment.
Deal. Sorry, that was insensitive.
Tex, what's going on here?
Uh,
What the fuck is this?
how long ago was the?
Yep, about a week. It was
Jace, I'm
shortly.
assuming that's too long.
No, there's her. There is no way to bring her back.
All right. I'm gonna slowly turn to Ozzy. And go. Yes, that was insensitive.
Well, I'm sorry, I got a little excited, but point being, I'm enthusiastic, which is a plus, right?
What the fuck are you wearing, Ozzy?
Well, the bottom half of a bit of armor I was working on.
Oh,
It's called an Icarus suit.
Yes, we have Icarus harnesses attached to our power armor as well. That is the other thing that we figured that we should talk about now. Mr. Tex, you said you were a good pilot?
I've heard that plenty of times before. Yes.
If you wish to take us to our final destination, there is a way. We have a contact that can refuel you en route, if need be.
En route. Interesting.
As you land or come to your second jump, we can give you an extra load of fuel. That is possible. However, the place that they are being held is on a polar ice cap. It is a base there. Small outpost. We have brought what equipment we will need to complete the objective, but we would need it to be offloaded in orbit. Well, hopefully not being seen very much.
So, at the final destination, are you wanting just a hot drop or an extraction as well?
We will not need an extraction. There will be no threat once we are finished.
Okay. Well, I was mostly just wondering if you needed a ride off the rock, but that works.
We will take one of their ships.
Good.
So, if you wish to continue the contract, we will also provide a favor, I suppose. We will do what we can. We do not have too much more in the way of credits, but this is now the full story, I suppose.
oh, a favor could be worth a lot more than just credits.
And we always pay our debts. We always remember our friends
So
and
I've
those
heard.
who have wronged us.
Oh, I know that one for sure. So to get everybody up to speed, and I kind of turn to the crew more than them. We are being asked to either continue to the next region, the next star system, and either do a drop off there where we will get 50,000 credits, assuming this is still all true, and then that would be the end of our job. Or we can go to a planet several star systems away and get an additional 25,000 credits and a favor and the armor, which Ozzy is so
The
desperately
armor
interested in.
is separate.
Oh,
If you
that's
can help
okay.
us, fix up our equipment so that it is ready for the orbital drop, that will be sufficient for
Yeah,
what is
Tix,
left
I
of
was
the
going to do
arc.
that anyways, whatever we
Yeah.
choose. So,
No, I was just going to say that's your call then. So you go ahead and do. Personally, I would like to help these ladies out. They are proud and formidable warriors, I can assure all of you. They come from a very harsh planet, which is in a, last I knew, very complicated situation. So I would like to personally help them out, but it's not my decision.
they're
I
cool. I'm in.
suppose that explains why they would bring people to protect them in a box. Seems reasonable.
Yeah.
There are all of our equipment for the job is in the boxes, but it was our insurance more than anything else.
Makes
We,
sense. You don't know us.
yes, we hoped that you would be amenable to us, but we could not take the chance completely.
I understand. Well, I'd rather have you try and do it this way than just try and take our ship. So that is much appreciated. Well, I can't speak for everybody. I can go ahead and assume that if I were to literally say the words to Lexi, there's some ladies that need some help, I'm sure she would be ready to charge into a fight. As far as everybody else, though, that's their own decision to make, or captains or whatever. But like I said, I'm all for helping out.
Do you need any more troops? Or because we got 2 willing participants.
I think this is not the right uh, idea yet. We do not wish to put you at risk, and we have more than the needed force to complete this particular job.
Understood.
We appreciate it
Yeah, we're
very
just
much.
dropping them off.
Well, 75,000 credits in a favor and an Icarus harness for a delivery doesn't sound terrible.
It'll
You
probably
just did it
be.
near a fish. I know you did it on purpose. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. I was gonna say it'll probably be a little bit hot once we get there. Depending on how well things go, they will have probably stuff in orbit, which we'll need to navigate. But yeah, for the most part, it shouldn't be too bad.
The planet itself is not particularly well defended. There is only the one base, and it has a short-range sensor array. You will have to be quick, but that should be enough, I think.
Yeah, I
Is
think
there
we
a,
could.
Is there a station or anything non-military in the area?
I believe there is, yes.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and look towards text. There's this thing me and the kids used to do back on Suna called the Charlie Horse.
You and I come from very different worlds.
I mean, if we wanted to dispel suspicion, we could intentionally semi-sabotage our ship, give us some dirty emissions, and pop in, say, hey, we need some help. See if they can offer any repairs, and
This is a mercenary group, though. Remember, they're not going to be too keen on humanitarian.
No, they will not.
I think, personally speaking, we just come in on a polar orbit, whatever the opposite pole is from the base, and then cut down to a real low altitude, and then so that we just skim past the I'm going to say North Pole base, whatever it is, polar base, real quick, and then hopefully get out of Dodge before they even know we're there.
well,
I
I
will
guess I'll
say-
have my work cut out for me.
For the effect and the equipment we brought, we will still need to drop at least as high as the stratosphere, if not higher. But,
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
all right. Well, I will allow you to discuss amongst yourselves. But for the moment, I think it is best we stand on even footing, so to speak. So now you know where we came, where our position is.
I'll need to go get some more pillows.
You get this sort of like half grin across Indra's face of like, oh yeah, that's fair. It breaks the tension, and she's this look of weariness gives way to sort of a half smile, and sort of a nod of absurdity for a moment.
I look over and say, for those of you in helmets, whoever's most eager, follow me to the workshop. There's work to be done.
There's one who has
No. Not.
a
Need the medical exam first.
You see one or two of them that certainly look like they took the brunt of the force, Jace. But a third one sort of looks to you, Oswald, not one that you've met yet. And she sort of very, very seems thin. And the armor is built out with a few extra customizations that you might not have seen before. And she sort of nods to you and starts to walk after you.
All right. Yeah, I just kind of sort of give a signal to go upstairs and take it to the workshop.
All right. Leave. Yep, that's where we put the workshop.
I am glad I brought another bag of tools.
All right, so I'll put her up there.
Yeah, for the next, I think we have like 12 days left for the whole trip, that is.
Yeah, you have another 2 days in Spike,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're going to need to go and refuel somewhere at a minimum because you're going to be
Right.
essentially out. And then you'll have another, 12 days plus 4.
Okay. So,
Because you got to go to the outside of you got to go into the system. So you have another 3 days before you can actually dock up somewhere.
all right.
And then you have another 12, 14, 16 days to Mikula if you take it.
Going to be spending most of that time working on armor.
That's fair.
Armor and weapons, or maybe if they need any adjustments, I could probably customize a couple of them for them if they have the parts for it.
All right. Yeah. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But
Indeed.
Jace, you do see that one of the two that looks kind of beaten up, definitely has like 2 broken ribs, but is standing in such a way as you could tell like is trying to hide it. And the other one, you can't really tell, but it looks like has taken a huge amount of blunt impact to the solar plexus and has some bruised internal organs. Once again, they're both standing relatively stoically, but you can see that they've definitely taken some serious hits. And lastly, Evil, what are you doing? Are you down for that whole, or were you down there for that whole discussion?
No, I'm up at the bridge because I didn't want it to leave it alone.
Okay.
I am going to pop off. See you guys
Alright.
next week. And I guess that means I have to stop the stream a little early, but we'll probably get caught up later.
I don't think much will happen, so you're probably
No.
fine.
No, the
Keep
last thing
renting
that
here.
the last thing that happens is Evil. You feel a consciousness sort of reach out and sort of connect to yours in a similar ability to your own. In fact, very much similar. I assume. And you hear sort of a voice kind of in the back of your head. Not in a threatening way, necessarily. More of a curious way. You can kind of tell. I assume you are another crew member here?